Dear Sister Shivani, welcome back to Canada again. So, this is our second chit chat to prepare the ground. So, before everyone can bloom in your presence, we have to work on them a little bit. And last month in May, you gave us quite a challenging thought, to try to master those little devices and our connection with different habits. So I know it changed certainly the attitude of many. So now, what's next? Where are you taking us for our next step in preparing for this inner freedom in Canada?
Om Shanti. You know why it was important first to do the mastery over the gadgets? Because it's the easiest one. It may appear tough when we begin, but it's the easiest one. And when we create that mastery over the gadget, our soul power increases, which means the power of my mind to be independent and not to be dependent or addicted, that increases. So the easiest one is always outside, that is gadgets and food. The next thing which is outside is situations. And in one day itself, we are going to see so many situations which may not be my way. I may plan my day, I may have a calendar, I may expect things to go a certain way, but things are not going to always be my way. And we know that things are not always going to be my way, but yet we have allowed our mind because we were living in a world which was saying, I'm feeling like this because of. So every time we reinforce that vocabulary saying, I'm stressed because of work. I'm upset because they behaved a certain way. I'm impatient because things are not happening my way. So every time we are repeating this vocabulary, it's an affirmation which we are repeating multiple times in the day. And every time we're repeating, we're creating a coding which is saying, whatever I'm feeling here is because of what's happening outside. So there are two worlds, the outer world and the inner world. The outer world is the outer world of situations, and situations also have people. We will see people next time. But the outer world of situations and people's behavior, even the health of my body, is an outer world because I, the being, I, the soul here, I am that energy. I am wearing this body. So even this body is my outer world. So the health of this body, the situations, people's behavior, nature, which means climate, and of course, everything that's happening in our the world, which means on the planet. Everything is outer world. And the inner world here is my world of intentions, thoughts, feelings, emotions, memories. So this is inner world. Now, the way it should be is that the inner world actually influences the outer world. That is the truth, that our thoughts, vibrations influence the health of our body, they influence what we are doing, they influence people. But this is a mastery that we've forgotten, and we're living the other way around. And we are saying the inner world is affected by the outer world. So now, once I create this programming that either being my thoughts, feelings, emotions are dependent on the outer world, then the next thing that automatically comes is for me to be happy, for me to be perfect inside, the outer world will need to be perfect, which means everything needs to be perfect and perfect my way, the way I want it to be, the way I want the traffic on the road to be, the way I want work to happen, the way I want people to behave. That's the outer world. And most important, the body should be the way I want it to be. Now we are living in a world of uncertainty. So, two worlds, inner world and outer world. As long as the outer world was more or less certain, things were going our way, the life of the body was more or less certain. Okay, we will leave the costume at this age. So, when more of the things were certain outside, if we make the inner world dependent on a certain outer world, even then we can manage life. But now the outer world is uncertain. This minute, I wouldn't know what's going to happen next minute. So at this time, if the outer world is uncertain and the inner world is also uncertain because it is dependent on the outer world, that is the reason why we feel a lot of fear and we feel helplessness because nothing is in my control. neither the outer world nor my inner world. So, this is the time now to wake up and to start this journey that whatever I'm creating here is not getting created by situations, it's getting created by me. I am choosing my thought in every situation. So, what we can do to just begin with, just change our vocabulary and experiment. Everyone can do it right now. Just rewind and see the last time you reacted or you got irritated or angry, and just close your eyes, bring that scene on the screen of your mind, and try and see how you could have done it another way. And each one of us will find another way to do it. We could have kept quiet, we could have talked about it later, we could have said the same thing in a more respectful, compassionate manner. The tone, the vocabulary, the way of speaking, everything has options. But at that moment when we reacted, we believed as if we have no options, and we said, they didn't do this the right way. Obviously, I will get angry. And that obvious emotion started becoming my first stage of dependency, where I said, I don't have a choice. Obviously, this will happen if things are not my way. So, first step today, change of vocabulary. Just a change of vocabulary, because a change of vocabulary is going to change the way I think. So, tomorrow, if you react, if you get angry, no problem. It's okay. But only change the vocabulary from they did this, so I got angry, they are the cause of it. No, just change the vocabulary. Things were not my way. I created the anger. Just the vocabulary has to change. I created this irritation. I created this impatience. So for next 2, 3 days, only change vocabulary and keep creating your normal reactions. But just change vocabulary. And when you start changing vocabulary and you keep saying, I created this, I created this, I created this, it's the first step of the inner world becoming independent of the outer world. Because I'm saying this was not right. We are not saying situations are right, but we're just saying my emotion is still my creation. So first 2, 3 days, I created, I created, I created. Next 2, 3 days, since I am creating, I have a choice what I have to create. I have a choice. And now I'm going to choose another way, not for them, for myself. I'm going to choose another way for myself. Why? Because I'm looking for happiness. I want a healthy body. I want everything in my life to be perfect. So I am going to start choosing another way. And the easiest way for that is this morning when you begin the day and you plan what you're going to do throughout the day. We all have a calendar 9 to 10, I have to do this, 10 to 11, I'm meeting so and so. It's a to do calendar. Along with that, we can have a column to be. How am I going to be while I'm going to be doing this? We are human beings. We're taking so much care of what we're doing. A little attention of how I'm going to be while I'm going to do this. And then just select those typical scenes of your day, normal, which happen almost every day. Like, for example, getting stuck in a traffic jam. If there's a lot of traffic in your city, then it's something that happens almost every day. But many of us get irritated every day in the same situation. So now we're going to focus only on those situations which are typical, which happen every day. Every day, somebody working with you doesn't work the way you want them to be. These are things which happen every day. So then, for the next few days, choose those typical situations, not new ones, but just typical situations, which means an exam of which you already know the question. And now you're going to fit the right answer there and start responding with patience, with empathy, with silence, with respect, just to those typical situations which happen almost daily or which you know that this is going to happen. Once you start responding to them a different way, again, the mind is becoming powerful. The mind is reinforcing, oh, yes, I am the master. I am choosing how to respond. Once you start doing this, you're building up your emotional stamina. The program is changing from dependency to becoming independent and mastery. And then you will not have to practice for the other situations. When something comes into your life, it could be a crisis, and you have gathered that strength and that programming of being a master. And you will be amazed how you will respond to that situation in a completely different manner. And you're going to sit back after that and say, like, how did I do this? I normally would have not been this way in this situation because you built up the stamina in those normal, insignificant, typical situations in which we otherwise react and deplete our energy. So visualize either so, battery. I need to keep it charged throughout the day. And my reactions of worry, fear, stress, anger, irritation in situations are depleting this battery. This battery needs to be charged for my happiness, for my health, for my beautiful relationships. And so I will just keep that as a priority. So just start first step changing vocabulary. Second step, every time you react, saying, I created it, so that the mind is understanding, okay, it's my choice. So, next step, choice. Third step, early morning, decide how you're going to respond to those typical triggers or buttons in your life. And then, fourth step, come to those situations which you were not prepared for. They just came suddenly into your life, but you will automatically see yourself responding another way. And when you will see this happening, you're going to see your body feeling a different energy. The body is going to feel very different because the body is receiving every thought and emotion that we are creating. We may create irritation for a few seconds, anger for a few seconds, but the impact of that on the body stays very long. And when that is my behavior on a daily basis, then that energy starts getting accumulated in the body. And then it is the body which will start showing the reaction. So, first is reactions here, but then the body reacts, and we call that a disease. So, when I here experience dis-ease, which means I shift from my stage of being at calm and ease, then after a couple of years, it's going to be a dis-ease here in this body. So, do it for yourself. We're not doing this for anyone else, for ourselves, for my happiness, for my health. And then when you do that, you're going to start radiating that way of living and that energy to everyone around you.
Hmm. Thank you. In just a few minutes, you definitely give us enough homework for a whole month. So very practical, very great guidelines, for the next few weeks. Maybe to close in just a minute or two, you want to describe a little bit in your own meditative way the feeling of being free. When you have that stage, your inner world is really, in control and you're independent and free from the outer world. How does it feel? What's your thinking in that freedom?
Let's take a minute, relax the body, and see yourself, the pure, powerful being, the energy, as a little star, a point of light, shining in the center of the forehead. This body is mine. I am this being, the master of this body. I am the master of my mind. I, the soul, am the creator of every thought, feeling, word, and behavior. I am the creator in every situation, always. I am the master. I choose. I respond to every scene with peace, with power, with compassion. It's my nature. It is my personality. It is who I am. Om Shanti.
Shivani, thank you very, very much again. I think we move one step closer to our inner freedom, but you're moving one step closer to Canada now. So hope you're feeling that you are getting very close to be here very soon. So thank you again,
Look,
and we'll continue our conversation for the next video for next month. Thank you.
thank
Om
you so
Shanti.
much. Thank you. Om Shanti.